Well, you're watching WTV's News Review, and of course today, like we said earlier, we're discussing matters lifestyle, and earlier on we were discussing matters HIV and breastfeeding, how important it is for a mother to breastfeed your child for at least 6 months to 1 year. And moving on, Nelly, you know, there's this statement written here: if you're married, which you are, please leave single people alone, like me. Oh no, I am not very single, but yeah. Yes.
I actually like this, but also I hope next time she'll also talk about if you're single, please leave married people alone.
By the way, yes, very important.
Yeah, I think when it comes to relationships, it really matters to people what they vowed to do, as you know, for instance, like in marriage. So, and in this case, we're looking at a couple where, for her to have said, if you're married, please leave the single people alone, you're looking at somebody who probably feels they're bored in their relationship, and now they're trying to check out of their hood what's going on, what's happening. But I think it's also an aspect of, what do the two of you have in a relationship? One of the things that people say is that get married to your friend.
Yeah.
And I think, because one of the things that if you have a friend as your spouse, then you'll never get bored of each other.
Yes.
You talk and talk and talk, you do things together, you spend so much time together that even if they're away from you, you feel like some part of you is gone, is missing. Exactly.
Yeah.
So when people now get to a position where you're thinking about checking out the single people, then there must be a problem.
Yes.
I don't know what you think of that.
Well, there's a question I've been needing to ask. Really, what leads, married, let's say an example of married man to cheat? Because I've been asking, friends and even colleagues who are male, and they say there will always be the unfaithful part. Like, a man cannot not cheat, that there has to be that. But I beg to disagree with that information that, someone has to cheat for a relationship to work and all that. Well, I don't know what leads a man, to, because let's say you guys are doing very well with your hubby, and then but there's that aspect of him meeting other people outside there, getting to be friends and all that. Does it really necessarily lead to, cheating?
I think, as I said earlier, it really also depends with the person that you're with. If it's a person of low bars, because for me I call, if you're not faithful in your relationship, then you're a person of low bars. And also for a person whom is not satisfied with what they have, they don't want to make it better. They don't want, because sometimes I look at this, a situation where it's a young couple, a man is complaining about the wife and saying, oh, my wife is boring, my wife doesn't like doing this, my wife doesn't. How many times have you tried to entice her? To for instance, go out? Maybe for a dance, maybe for a movie or something, or something sociable.
Yes.
How many times have you tried? Or your work is to leave the office and go join the boys. Yes. There are those things that also, as human beings, we need to also go to the space of the next person and try and ask them, can we go out? Can we do this?
Yes.
Also, when you see that if your spouse is letting loose in terms of like adding weight and they're becoming unattractive, what are you doing as a spouse to make them retract? Retune back and get back to your shape or something? Because I hear a lot of complaints like that. What did you do to make you to lose weight and things like that? I'm like, one of the things, my support system. My husband is my support system.
Yes.
So if he doesn't push me and I don't realize that I need to get back in shape, then I'm giving him a hard time. The same thing for other people. It is important that you let that person to come to your space also. And by the time somebody is making up their minds to cheat, it's because they've decided.
They have,
they have just
it's a
decided.
choice you make.
It's
it's not something
entirely
that
a
led
choice.
you. You just decided to cheat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you look at everything is in order. You have a good family, you have a good wife, you have a good relationship. It's a choice that you make. That what, I think I will get out.
Exactly.
And get
I
to
had
cheat,
someone, just say that stolen mangoes are always sweeter, and gosh, that's such a bad statement to make.
It is disrespectful actually when it comes to when it comes to situations where you have your mango.
Yes.
Why don't you wait for it to ripen and
Yes.
eat it right, other than stealing your neighbors?
Yeah.
I mean, we are
You're
so
right.
many. There's so many men and women out here,
Yeah.
and some of the things that for me I look at when it comes to saving your relationship is understanding your partner. Yeah, getting to know what did they used to do when you were dating.
Yes.
Yeah, what did you used to love most
Yeah.
when you were dating? Because, like, for instance, for me and my husband, we always do the things we used to do when we were dating.
Wow.
I remember yesterday when it was my son's closing day, and they were performing the Christmas concert, and the teacher said, now the kids have performed, the parents need to come in and perform something.
as well.
So either you get to think on your feet or something.
Yeah.
So I asked my husband, will you go? He's like, no, I won't. I'm like, I will. So I get there and we get on stage, and the teacher says, you're going to dance. And we already have a dress code. There's a way you're supposed to
Yes.
dress. So, for us, it's elegant and all these things. And they said, you're going to dance. And everyone felt off. But then for me, I said, you know what? I mean, I've always loved dancing, so
Yes.
why not? And I danced and I won. Actually, I got a small tiara.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's the little things that you used to do when you felt younger, you need to continue, because what's the deal about looking old and looking funny and
Exactly.
exactly,
Yes.
yeah,
Marriage
so-
is not all about that. I think people have a misconception about getting married as well.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and in marriage. And then I also remember another time my friends saying they're single and they were making fun of married people, and they said, one of them said, oh, I'm so in love, and even my pal is so in love. Then they came to me and like, we know. I'm like, no, okay, exactly. So
Like
there's
there's no choice but you being there. Is that what they were trying to imply?
exactly. So I think for the part of people being satisfied in their relationships,
Yeah.
it's really important,
Yeah.
so that you keep what you have
Yeah.
longer.
Yes. And then there's also the aspect of, if you're single, please leave married people alone.
Yeah.
And that is what I think we mostly see.
Yes,
We have a lot of cases of sugar daddies, sugar mummies, treating. I don't know why people find it like it's a fancy to have someone who's married. And then there's that concept of I am attracted to married people because, I don't know, he feels responsible. I've had so many stories about that.
I always say that if you are attracted to a married person, why don't you get a person and get married to them,
Yes.
and you're now in a married setup?
Yeah.
Because it does, for me, it is not you are attracted to a married person. You're just trying to be to get in a convenient relationship.
Yes.
A person is already set, they have their things going on, so you just want to come in like it is said that in a palace there's a king and the queen, and if they have a farm and they have a pigsty, the pig will never get into the palace, whether washed,
Yes.
whether shampooed, whether perfumed or anything.
Well,
And even if
yeah.
it happens and they get in, they're still a pig. So why do you want to be a pig in a palace? Why don't you make your own palace?
You're right.
Exactly.
For
So
example, for you, has anyone ever hit on you? Someone single? Do people do that?
people hit on me.
Yes.
But the fact that it doesn't matter. Your vibes really don't matter. In fact,
Yeah.
this is really nice that you've asked, because what more are you telling me? Because when I made my decision to be in a marriage setup, then that was it.
Yes.
So what new thing are you telling me? In fact, if you want my life, I have a baggage, which is I have 3 people. I have my husband and my kids. They are part of me. So if you want me to be in your life, we are 3, so we come in as 4.
Exactly.
So are you going to handle?
Wow.
So, and there's a lot that there's beyond the relationship, there's beyond the affair.
There is.
Yes. So if a lady wants to come into my marriage, there's so many responsibilities in it.
Exactly.
So you're not going to get the best part of it. You're going to get everything of it. So
So he or she should be ready to deal with that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we are discussing matters lifestyle, relationships. If you have any feedback, kindly send them on our SMS line 20058, our Twitter handle at WTVKE, and our Facebook page WTV Kenya. Moving on, Nelly, there's cases of the e-pill and how it works. Now, before we get to that, there was a story we saw on TV. I think that was last weekend. many teenagers are used to using this Postina too, and there was that fake one that has been introduced. Okay, it looks the same, but it's fake, and I think people are still not aware. So if you're there, you're young, you're sexually active, and you're thinking, oh, there's always Postina too, and then there's a fake one. Then you realize, oh my gosh, how many days later I'm pregnant?
And then you have your oops moment.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I say, for instance, okay, number one is I think the Poisons Board should be able to tell us exactly what is the counterfeit product that is in the market, and it should be retract immediately from the market. But also, there's the aspect of your being responsible. A friend of ours one time said, there are 2 things or 3 things that are involved when you get involved sexually. Either you get pregnant, you get a baby, or you get pregnant, or you get a disease, or you get pleasure. So it's a choice.
Or you can get all of them.
Or you can get all of them at the same time. So when you reach a position where you are getting involved sexually, then there are consequences. Are you able to bear the consequences? Because blaming the e-pill and all these things is, for me, it's really not a case, because it's a choice you've made. What are you looking for? Yeah. And if it's a marriage setup, you would get a baby, which is fine, or pleasure, which is fine. But when you're a teenager, why are you getting involved sexually in the first place? You see? So when it comes to these counterfeit products, I don't know now where it lies. Is it that now during the sex education you're taught which ones to use?
Actually, you should just not use the e-pill. I think we're also not taught that what these things do to women. The e-pill is very, very bad, if I may say. People say it causes cancer, but forget about cancer first. You can become, infertile in the future, because if you keep using it, there's a nurse who was talking about it, and she was saying, if that pill, stops you from getting pregnant instantly, and you keep taking it, do you know how powerful it is? So at the end of the day, you can even get infertile. You can get it may not work at the end of the day. Then you still get pregnant, and you get the disease, which are very many sexually transmitted diseases. People should really realize the effect of the e-pill.
Exactly. And just like other forms of contraception, the e-pill, it causes some side effects, and some of them is you get to have breast tenderness, headaches, several severe nausea and vomiting. And if you vomit within 2 hours of taking the pill, it will not be effective. Exactly. So it's also a matter of knowledge. If you are an informed person and this happens, then get to know that some of these activities, some of these things that you're doing are even causing more harm than good to you.
Which is true, because at the end of the day, if it doesn't work, that's why we have so many cases of abortion as well. Many young mothers who are, as we have seen earlier on, so many adolescents are infected with HIV because they think the e-pill will save them from pregnancy, but they don't think about the disease.
The future.
Yeah,
exactly.
So I think that's it for today, right?
That's it for today,
Yes. Thank you for joining us on today's news review. It has been a very good time discussing matters lifestyle. Send us your feedback on our SMS line 20058, our Facebook page at WTV Kenya, and our Twitter handle at WTV KE. Do have yourselves a lovely afternoon.